One of the other key questions that we've seen a lot of coverage focus on, which I want to come to because it matters a lot for businesses, is the question of refunds. This was obviously an issue of some contention amongst the justices themselves. I think we saw it reported when this case was in front of oral arguments, that this was an issue of contention during oral arguments. But walk us through where we are on the issue of refunds. How will it be clarified? Whether and how refunds are taking place, and what are kind of the left and right bounds of what refund processes might look like?
Yeah, so this is the issue a lot of folks are waiting to see because people paid a lot of money for these tariffs. Like Americans paid the tariffs, not foreign countries. And this is why the refund issue is so big. And the court did not make any sort of determination on the refunds. They basically said we are upholding the higher court's decision, the appeals court, that said they would have to remand the decision on refunds back to the Court of International Trade. So now we're going to wait on guidance from the Court of International Trade on what folks have to do in order to get their refunds. Few things are important here. One, consumers are not going to see any money, right? The importer of record paid those tariffs, and those tariffs are mostly paid by businesses in the United States that have imported things into the US. If they passed along some of that cost to consumers aren't going to get that money back. It's the company that's going to get the money back, and they're going to have to basically use that money to deal with all the legal fees, I'm sure, that they're paying in order to get this all sorted out. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Typically, refunds are pretty easy, right? Everything's paid electronically. There's a record of every single payment. And so you could essentially reverse that, payment backwards to the companies. But the question really at issue is whether the refunds are universal and everyone's allowed to get them automatically, or whether companies are going to have to file what's called a protest and request CBP to correct the money that they had taken and to return it back to them. So that we're still waiting to find out, and we may need to wait a little bit longer to know what that process is going to be.